Hello, you getting my voice?
Yes, sir.
Is the screen clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So today we have this week we are starting the paper 2 of your TSPSC History, Culture and Geography. The very first aspect of your syllabus is History and Culture of India with special reference to modern period, that is 1757 to 1947. Okay. As you are able to see the screen,
Yes, sir.
okay, you are getting my voice clearly.
Yes, sir. Some track but clear, sir.
Yes. Okay. Okay, please start reading. British conquest of India 1.
British conquest of India 1. Battle of Plassey, 1757. In 1756, Aliwardi, Aliwardi Khan died and was succeeded by his grandson Sirajud-Dowla. He was a young man of 24 years and had commendable energy and promptitude.
The commendable energy and promptitude. Man, देखिए, this is we are talking about from 1757. Okay, what happened in 1757? The Britishers, just a background here, just a Britishers came in 1600 during the time of Mughals as merchants. Okay, as the merchants. Now, slowly they realized that our princely states, our kings are not united. So they started a policy of supporting each other against against each other and installing the puppet kings and ruling by the puppet kings. Okay. The very first thing started here in 1757. Okay, the Battle of Plassey in 1757. And the very first thing they started the experiment with the Nawab, the Bengal. Okay? Now, this is the most important part of your syllabus because it is specifically mentioned with reference to modern period, that is 1757 to 1947. And your modern history starts with the 1757, and the first battle we have to start is 1757, that is Battle of Plassey. Okay? Now, we start with the British conquest of India 1. So please start reading once again clearly, please.
Battle of Plassey, 1757. In 1756, Aliwardi Khan died and was succeeded by his grandson Sirajuddin Dowla. He was a young man of 24 years and had commendable energy and promptitude.
Now, in 1756, who died? Aliwardi Khan. He is the Nawab of Bengal. Okay? And then his son, what is his son name? Sirajud-Dowla. Okay? He became the new king, new Nawab of Bengal here. Next, please. And he was how many years? 24 years. Has commendable energy and promptitude.
Promptitude.
Yes. What is a promptitude? Prompt. What is a prompt? Promptitude माने क्या? Promptitude meaning a person who is able to take decisions quickly. Promptitude माने quick decisions. Quick decisions. ठीक है? A person who takes quick decisions is known as promptitude person. Please read next.
Right from the ascension to the throne of Bengal, the company had no good terms with the Nawab. Moreover, it offended him in many ways.
They were not paying the taxes. They were bribing the, what you can say, the people there. Okay. So the Nawab wanted, they were not the rulers at that point of time. They were just merchants and they were misusing the farmans. Okay. So what they do, they were misusing the farmans. So what Nawab extracted money from them. Nawab extracted taxes from them, and because of that, they were not in good terms with the Nawab. Okay. Please read next.
Misuse of royal pheromones and dustaks. Misuse of royal firmanas and dastaks. Dastak was a trade permit sanctioned to the East India Company by the Mughal government.
Now, by the Mughal government, this is the royal farmans. Farmans and farmanas is the plural there. So misuse of royal farmanas and dastak. What was dastak? Dastak
Desk,
means
office desk.
दस्तक was the trade permit. इधर लिखे हुआ है फिर आपको
Oh,
गलत बोल रहे हैं. What is
so
दस्तक?
Dastak was a
Dastak
trade
was a
permit.
trade permit sanctioned to East India Company by the Mughal government for the trade related. ठीक है? Next. Please read next.
Under the terms and conditions of Farooq Siyar's Farman of 1717, the East India Company was entitled to trade in Bengal Suba without paying the normal customs duty.
Now in 1717, they took a royal order from the then Nawab Farooq Siyar.
Siyar.
ठीक है. Now you might get a question. When did the British government took the permission for trade in Bengal? That was in Farooq Siyar in 1717. ठीक है. Please remember this. This might be your objective question. ठीक है. Now entitled to trade in Bengal without paying the normal customs duty. Please read next point.
Based on the right derived from the imperial Farman, the company used to issue dustaks authorizing their agents to trade customs free with the province of Bengal.
Province of Bengal. माने imperial
Bengal.
माने royal. Based on the right derived from the imperial farman, the company used to issue dastak. माने dastak means what? What is dastak? Was a trade permit sanctioned to the East India Company.
East India.
Dastak authorizing their agents to trade customs free within the province of Bengal. माने you have this. Now please remember, this is India. At this point of time, I'm writing the combined India. ठीक है.
This is the first time when British came ना sir. First year था शायद British आए सो.
1600 में Britishers.
16.
Now this was Tamil. This was Madras province. This was Bombay province. This was complete Bengal province. Please remember, this was complete Bengal province. इधर से लेके इधर तक. ठीक है. This was complete Bengal province. This was all Bengal. ठीक है. Even the Myanmar of that time was included in India. ठीक है. Burma. Here. Next. Please write. Please start reading. Based on the
right derived from the imperial Farman, the company used to issue dustaks authorizing the agents to trade customs free with the province of Bengal.
in the province of Bengal. Issue dastak and customs free. Next, please.
The right of free trade covered by the dastaks was restricted to the company alone. This right, according to the Farman, was not to be exercised by the company's private traders.
The company's private traders. This point is very, very important. The right of free trade was restricted to whom? Only the
company,
only the company, not the private
traders.
Not the private traders. So right of the free trade covered by the dastak was restricted to company alone. And according to the Farman, this was not to be exercised by the company private trader. But what happened? Please read next.
But in practice, the private traders of the company generally abused the free trade right by producing dastaks to the chowkis of the government. But the chowkidars had reasons to believe that the most of the dastaks produced by the company traders were produced to cover their own private trade. The company sold dastaks at high price not only to European private traders but also to native merchants.
माने क्या है? They have abused. माने abuse means wrong use. ठीक है?
Wrong is for
Next.
benefit. Consequently, the government was losing revenue on the one hand, and the native merchants were losing their business due to the unequal competition with the company and the private traders. On the other, the abuse of dastak was in fact one of the key issues of the conflict between the Nawab and the company.
So the very first conflict came because of the misuse of the dastak. That is a trade
Dastak.
permit. So what did we learn? What are the first thing we have learned?
Dastak.
Dastak. ठीक है? So as for the people who has come late, we'll just revise it. Who has come late? I think Arshia has come late.
Yes, sir. I am late.
Arshia, Neha, Sarwar. Yeah. So as per the syllabus, I'm going as per the syllabus of your TSPSC paper 2, history of culture and with special reference to modern period, that is 1757 to 1947. Okay. Now by the whole week we'll continue this, and on Sunday you will get the questions from this syllabus also. Okay. So please be very clear, and after the lecture I'll send this notes in the group. Okay. So we are starting the British conquest of India 1, Battle of Plassey. When did the Battle of Plassey happen?
1757.
1757. Please note it down, the important dates. Battle of Plassey is 1757. Then you have Battle of Buxar, 1764. You are making your notes. Side में लिख लो. First you have to know the whole skeleton first.
Yes, sir.
Battle of Plassey कब हुई?
1757.
1757. Battle of Buxar कब हुआ?
1764.
1764. Then you have, उसके बाद ट्रीटी ऑफ इलाहाबाद हुआ. बैटल ऑफ बक्सर के बाद कौन सी ट्रीटी हुई? ट्रीटी ऑफ
Allahabad.
1765. Okay, then we'll discuss the timeline of the governor of Bengal. Then you have governor general of India. Then you have governor generals of India. Then you have the various Anglo-Mysore wars. When did the Anglo-Mysore war happen? 1767. Battle of Plassey कब हुई?
1757.
Battle of Plassey is 1757. First battle of Anglo-Mysore war 1767. ऐसा याद रखिए. ठीक है. Battle of Plassey बंगाल. ठीक है. Battle of Plassey बंगाल में हुआ. और Anglo-Mysore war कब हुआ? 1767.
1767.
ठीक है. फर्स्ट याद रखो, उसके बाद में ऑटोमेटिकली आपको याद रह जाते थे. फिर उसके बाद में we'll see the Bengal, then we'll go to Mysore, then we'll go to
Maharashtra.
Yes, Anglo-Maratha wars. Anglo-Maratha
war.
That is 1803. That is, we are entering into the which century? 1803 means which century? 1803 माने कौन सी सेंचुरी में आ जाते?
19th.
We are entering into the 19th century. ठीक है. 18th century में we are going to see the Bengal as well as the Bengal and the Maratha, the Bengal and the this one क्या बोलते हैं? Madras. ठीक है. Then in the 19th century we will enter into the Anglo-Maratha wars. ठीक है. And then we will see the Anglo-Sikh wars in the mid. First Anglo-Sikh war कब हुआ?
1845.
1845. So Bengal
246.
1757. फिर उसके बाद में 1767 is for 1767 किसके लिए था?
Battle of Plassey.
Mysore,
Mysore.
Anglo-Mysore War.
Anglo-Mysore Wars. Then you have 1804
Anglo-Maratha War. 1803, sir.
Anglo-Maratha War. फिर उसके बाद में once Marathas are over, then they have come
Sikh
to
War. Sikh
Sikhs.
War.
That is
Sixth War.
1845.
1845.
ठीक है, the basic minute details you will understand, but basically आपको timeline मालूम रहना, ठीक है. 1845 Anglo-Mysore War. Then we have Anglo-Sikh Wars हुआ. फिर उसके बाद में then you have subsidiary alliance हुए. फिर उसके बाद में directly one by one the whole India was taken into the Britishers conquest. And the last we have this is very important. These in UPSC this question has come. Arrange the following on years by which the Britishers took the Indian provinces one by one. And after that we have the 1857 war, the first war of independence. ठीक है, तो समझ में आया क्या है? We have the timeline clear.
Yes, sir.
Now by the whole week we will learn this, starting from Battle of Plassey to the 1857. We'll cover almost 100 years in this week. ठीक है, so the Battle of Plassey was in the Bengal. In 1766, Ali Khan was the king who died, and his grandson Siraj-ud-Dawla became the Nawab. He was of just 24 years of commendable energy and promptitude. Then there is one more point. There there was not a good relation between the Nawab and the company. Why? The very first cause is the misuse of royal farmans and dastak. ठीक है. Second is conspiracy by the relatives of Bengal Nawab. Then here, then we have various events. So what happened in first misuse of royal farmans and dastak? In 1717, please remember this date is important. In 1717, Farooq Siyar issued the farman. Farooq Siyar issued the farman in 1717 to the East India Company, which entitled the trade in Bengal Suba without paying the normal customs duty. Based on the right derived from the imperial farman, the customs issued dastak. What is dastak? You might get a question. What is dastak? Dastak क्या है? What is
Trade permit.
dastak?
Trade permit है, sir. Trade permit.
दस्तक इधर आया आपको. दस्तक is the trade permit.
Trade permit.
प्लीज रिमेंबर, ऐसे क्वेश्चन आते हैं. कारावान वाले क्वेश्चन आता, दस्तक वाले क्वेश्चन आता. सो बेसिक टर्मिनोलॉजी आपको याद रहना. तो दस्तक वाज द ट्रेड परमिट. क्लियर? issued to the British East India Company. But the trade permit was limited only to the company, not the private traders of the company. But many of them misused it and they sold this dastak to a very high price. And because of that, what was happening? Please read the last point.
Losing revenue. Sir. Consequently, the government was losing revenue on one hand, and the native merchants were losing their business due to unequal competition with the company and private traders. On the other, the abuse of the dastak was, in fact, one of the key issues of conflicts between the Nawab and the company.
Nawab and the company. This was the first conflict. Okay. Please read the second. Someone else, please.
Conspiracy by the relatives of Bengal Nawab.
Yes, please read.
Nawab's succession to throne was not peaceful and was challenged by his relatives Ghasti Begum, aunt, and Shaukat Jung cousin. Nawab was suspecting that they were seeking the help of the company against him.
देखिए नॉर्मली क्या होता? अब दुश्मन किधर रहते अपने?
नजदीक से बाजू रहता है, अंदर रहता है,
अपने घर में रहते. ठीक है. बाहर तो दूर की बात है, पहले अपना घर चेक कर लेना, उसके बाद में बाहर का सोचना। तो कॉन्स्पिरेसी ऑफ रिलेटिव्स ऑफ बंगाल नवाब, देखिए देवर, प्लीज रिमेंबर, there is a saying, there is a saying. What do you mean by this? I'm writing in the column, kingship, no kinship. Kingship, kingship knows no kinship. What do you mean by this? Can you explain this term? This was given by whom? कौन सा king दिया? Which king gave this saying? Kingship knows no kinship.
Don't know, sir.
अलाउद्दीन खिलजी, अलाउद्दीन खिलजी दिया था सर।
Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji
खिलजी,
gave this saying, saying that kingship knows no kinship.
किंगशिप,
समझ में आ गया? तो कॉन्स्पेरी ऑफ द रिलेटिव्स ऑफ बंगाल नवाब। सो देखो, throne, to obtain the throne, they can go to any limit. And what was assumed by Nawab? Who was putting conspiracies behind him? कौन थे? घस्ती बेगम
गस्ती बेगम
and
और शौकत जंगी,
शौकत
शौकत
जंग
जंगी।
cousin. ठीक है, प्लीज रिमेंबर, who was this? Alivardi Khan succeeded his grandson, not the son. Please remember, not the son, but by
ग्रैंडसन,
grandson. अगर son succeed करा तो एक अलग बात थी, बेटा succeed करा या बेटे क्या बोलते हैं आप? What do you call the son?
पोतरा, ग्रैंडसन,
Grandson उर्दू में क्या बोलेंगे?
Grandson.
पोतरा।
So अगर आप बेटा succeed करता तो अलग बात थी, but he was this grand Sirajuddaulah was the grandson of Alivardi Khan. You might get a question. Sirajuddaulah was the grandson of Alivardi Khan. Please remember. Now, who was conspiring against him? Ghasti Begum and Shaukat Jung. Okay. Next. Please read.
Fortification of Fort William by British inspired the Bengal Nawab's objections.
Now, what happened there? Okay, once this they was given a trade permit for in a fortification. Fortification किसको बोलते हैं? What in a fortification? What in a fortification? माने अपना आपको एक एरिया, एक जमीन दिए, बोले भाई इसमें खेती कर लो. The government gave you a piece of land and said, please you can do your agriculture here. Now what you are doing, instead of doing agriculture, you started the agriculture and you are not giving the profit to the government, and instead you are creating a boundary wall on the land given by the government. Will the government stay quiet? Will the government stay quiet or not?
No, sir.
What will the government do? They'll call a bulldozer and they will destruct the boundary wall which has been created by you, because you are going against the government rules and regulations. ठीक है? समझ में आ रहा नहीं आ रहा? Fortification means building the boundary wall around the place given by the Nawab to these Britishers. ठीक है? Next, please. Please read.
Disrespect to the Nawab by absenting themselves at the time of coronation.
Now, please remember. Please write on there. Now, what were the centers of British? One was Bengal. ठीक है? One was Bengal. The fort, माने the place where they lived, was known as Fort William. What is the second center? Bombay. Second center was Bombay. In Bombay, the place where the Britishers lived was just known as fort. There is no name. And what is the third center? Madras. The fort at
Madras.
Madras is known as क्या है? Shima. Fort at Madras is known as. Are you there?
Yes. Yes,
Fort
sir.
at Madras. क्या नाम था?
St. George Museum.
Fort St. George.
Fort St. George.
Fort St. George.
George.
You might get this in objective question. बंगाल में अगर है तो क्या नाम था? बंगाल was Fort
Fort.
William.
Fort William.
Bombay is just
Fort.
Fort. और मद्रास में
Fort
Saint
St.
George.
St. George.
समझ में आ रहा? ठीक है. They started the fortification. Means they started building the boundary wall for their protection by British in spite of Bengal Nawab's objections. Understood this point? Please read next.
Protection given to Krishna Das.
Now, please read the next last point.
Disrespect to the Nawab by absenting themselves at the time of coronation.
So, what they did, first they misused the farmans. What is the first reason? They misused the farmans here.
Dastaks.
Then they conspired against the Bengal Nawab. Second, third, they fortified the Fort Williams against the wishes of Bengal Nawabs. And they distracted the Nawab when absenting themselves at the time of coronation. Mane, he was being crowned. Mane, he was being crowned and he was being declared as the Nawab of Bengal. Okay? Next. Please read.
Protection given to Krishna Das. The relation between the English and the Siraj was further strained when the former rendered support to Krishna Das, the son of Raja Balla, who was formerly punished by the Nawabs of Bengal. Krishna Das was a rich Bengali merchant. Siraj decided to tackle these enemies with iron hand. He successfully suppressed the revolts of Ghasti Begum and Shaukat Jung.
So who was Ghasti Begum?
Aunt of
Aunt. And Shaukat Jung was cousin.
cousin.
So protection given to Krishna Das. Who was Krishna Das? Krishna Das was the son of Raj Ballabh, who was formerly punished by the Nawab of Bengal for not listening. Raj Ballabh did not listen to the Nawab, so he punished him. So what did the Britishers did? Now when I say latter, the relation between the English and the Siraj was further strained when the former
Before first.
ठीक है, इसको बोल रहा है फॉर्मर. द इंग्लिश नोन एज पहले जो आता उसको बोलते फॉर्मर, एंड जो बाद में आता उसको बोलते
लैटर सिराज.
लैटर. ठीक है, लैटर इज सिराज. लैटर इज सिराज एंड फॉर्मर इज इंग्लिश. ठीक है. एंड हु वाज कृष्ण दास?
Krishna Das,
Rich Bengali merchant.
Rich Bengali merchant who was the son of Raj Ballabh, and the Raj Ballabh was punished by Nawab of Bengal. Now thus Krishna Das was given protection by Britishers, and this also irked the Nawab. Okay. Now the events happened. One of the most important events which we are going to read next. Please read, Shima, please read events.
Events. The Nawab, enraged at the hostile activities of the company, proceeded towards Qasim Bazar and seized it, and then captured Calcutta.
Captured Calcutta. ठीक है. Hostile माने
Dangerous.
ठीक है. Dangerous or which is not it is malified with wrong intents. hostile activities at the of the company and proceeded towards Qasim Bazaar. उधर एक बाजार है known as
Qasim Bazaar.
Bazaar. The area name is Qasim Bazaar, where the fort was given. ठीक है, the place was given. The Qasim Bazaar and seized it and then captured Calcutta.
Calcutta.
ठीक है. This is the most gruesome event which happened. Please read. Black Hole Tragedy.
Black Hole Tragedy. On capturing Calcutta, Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah captured 145 British soldiers and confined them in a small room for the night. On account of intense heat and scanty space, about 123 of them, including a woman, died of suffocation. Sir Howell was one of those 23 persons who could survive narrowly. This incident is known as Black Hole Tragedy. Afraid of this ghastly incident, many Europeans ran and took shelter at Falta Islands.
At Falta Islands. Mane they ran away because he was very, very, what you can say. He just took he just attacked the Qasim Bazaar and took all the Britishers which were there and trapped them into a small hole, and which was very scanty space. And out of 145, how many died?
123.
123 died,
Including a woman.
including a woman. Okay, and who was one of the survivor there?
Sir Howell.
Sir Howell. Please remember, this question might come in your prelims. Who was the only survivor of this, what you can say, of this Black Hole Tragedy? Clear? All 23 persons could survive narrowly, and this is known as Black Hole
Black Hole
Tragedy.
Tragedy.
And after that, where did they go?
Falta Islands.
Falta Island. Okay. Next, what happened after that?
Treaty.
Treaty of
Ali Nagar.
Treaty of Ali Nagar. Please read.
February 9, 1757. Hearing this news, the British at Madras got furious and immediately dispatched an army under Robert Clive and Admiral Watson to Bengal. And Clive conquered
Robert Clive.
And
Most
Clive
important, Robert Clive. Padipur.
And Clive conquered the Bengal without much difficulty. To prevent an alliance,
Conquered
the Bengal without much difficulty. To prevent an alliance with the French, the Nawab was forced to sign a treaty, popularly known as Treaty of Ali Nagar. According to this treaty, all privileges granted by Farooq Shiar were confirmed. They were permitted to use what is that?
Dastak. Permit.
The British were given right of making coin in Bengal. Their factories were returned back. The signing of the treaty was one of the events leading up to the famous Battle of Plassey.
Battle of Plassey. तो समझ में आया क्या है ये? So Treaty of Ali Nagar. What happened there? What did it happen? क्या हुआ उधर? सबसे पहले the British irked the Nawab. Because of all these reasons we have completed. Then the Nawab came to Qasim Bazaar and captured the Calcutta and confined the Britishers into a small room, and which was very small, and the tragedy came to known as Black Hole Tragedy. Okay. After that, what happened? They wanted to take the revenge. So what did the Britishers send? Two people there. Who were the two most important people? Robert Clive.
Admiral Watson.
Robert Clive and Admiral Watson to Bengal. And after After not much time, the Robert Clive conquered the Bengal. Mane defeated the Nawab. Conquered the Bengal. Mane defeated the Nawab. And Admiral Watson defeated the Nawab. And after that, the two, because at that point of time, please remember, at that point of time, the French, the Napoleon was the biggest threat to the English. So what did they do? They as in the future the Nawab should not take any help from the French. So they signed a treaty. The treaty is known as
Deal contract.
treaty is known as
Treaty of
what?
Aligarh.
Treaty of
Aligarh.
Ali Nagar.
अली नगर. जो पेपर पे वो पढ़ी है, जो दिमाग में वो नहीं. Treaty of Ali Nagar. Or according to this treaty, what were the points? What are the first point? Granted to Farokh Siyar was confirmed. Farokh Siyar. When did the Farokh Siyar give the farman to Britishers? In which year?
1917.
1717. Please remember. 1717 में जो दिया वो confirm हो गया पूरे. ठीक है? That was confirmed. After that, they were permitted to use the dastak. What are dastak?
Trade permit.
Dastaks are
Trade permit.
Were given right to make coin और coin mint करना. आज के सिक्के है. आज सिक्के है. Today we have coins.
No.
Notes, sir, notes.
Today we have. है नहीं आज के सिक्के.
है.
चल रहे नहीं चल रहे 1-2 रुपए.
Sir.
तो वही टाइम पे Britishers started minting the coins in their own names. ठीक है? Their factories were returned back because what did this Nawab did? Qasim Bazar gaya and seized it. What did he do? He towards Qasim Bazar and seized it and captured Calcutta. That was returned back. And the signing of treaty was one of the events leading to the famous battle of Plassey. Okay. Now we are coming to the major part of battle of Plassey. Okay. Someone else read, please. Neha, can you read? Or Meena? Meena, are you there? Meghna?
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Okay. Can you please read it?
Yes.
The battle of Plassey.
Battle at Plassey. However, mistrust was continuing in both the camps. Siraj became unpopular because of the foreign companies.
Yes. There was a mistrust. There was no trust. And there is mistrust. Okay. Next.
Clive had secretly negotiated a treaty with Mir Jafar, the commander-in-chief of Nawab, through the intermediary William Watts, and promised the Nawabship of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa in exchange for substantial payments to the company and its various officers.
Okay. Nawab ship of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. Please remember. And please, आज we are in which year? What is the year?
2022.
2022. Now, please, when I say India, do not assume this India. Okay, you have to assume this India.
Bengal, Myanmar.
You have to assume this India. Okay. This part. Bengal, now Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. This part. Okay. Bengal, Bihar, Orissa. Okay. So now you have to assume this part. Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha in exchange of substantial payments to the company and its various officers. Now, who is the traitor here? Mir Jafar was the traitor.
Mir Jafar.
Who was Mir Jafar?
Chief of Nawab.
Commander-in-Chief.
Commander-in-Chief.
Chief of
Nawab. Okay. He was the biggest traitor. Next, please.
Many of Siraj-ud-Daula's senior officers were in support of Mir Jafar in this conspiracy. Under the treaty, Mir Jafar Khan undertook to change sides during the forthcoming hostilities.
Yes. Mane, whenever they will come into the battlefield, whenever they are coming into the battlefield, the Mir Jafar was the commander in chief. He will not release his troops. He'll just switch off. He will go backwards. ठीक है? He will not fight with on behalf of Nawab. ठीक है? Next please.
When the Battle of Plassey began, during the crucial phase of the 23rd 1757,
Major
during
important. Please write on the date. This date is important.
23rd June 1757.
23rd June 1757,
Yes.
during the crucial phase of the battle, Mir Jafar betrayed Siraj and refused to attack the British and changed side. The British won the Battle of Plassey with great help from Indians themselves. The Battle of Plassey, a battle on paper, English company won the battle with the betrayal of Nawab's officials.
Nawab official. Who is the biggest traitor? Mir Jafar.
Mir
Jafar.
Jafar.
Normally we say in a saying, whoever does a traitorship act, so you have become a Mir Jafar. Okay? When you know the history, you can use these terms. Whoever betrays trust. Did someone betray trust of yours? Anyone? धोखा खाए कभी?
हाँ सर करे. हाँ सर.
कभी धोखा दिए?
नहीं सर.
So if you are the person who was betrayed, then you have become the Siraj-ud-Dawla. Okay? So you have become Siraj-ud-Dawla. Normally we give the examples. Siraj-ud-Dawla who got betrayed, and who betrayed the Siraj-ud-Dawla? Mir Jafar. Okay, result. Anyone please? Alia?
Sirajud-Dawla was captured and killed. Mir Jafar became new Nawab of Bengal, rewarded company with 24 paraganas in addition to valuable gifts. War made the English undisputed masters of Bengal, from which they overran the rest of India in next 100 years. They successfully ousted the French and resisted the Dutch, thus laid foundation for British Empire in India.
Thus laid the foundation for British Empire in India. Okay. So, for what is the first result? Siraj-ud-Dawla was captured and
Killed.
killed. Okay. Mir Jafar became the new Nawab of Bengal, rewarded the company of 24 parganas. Now, how many 24 parganas means? 24 parganas माने क्या, कितने हो जाते आज के उसमें? माने 24 it like giving 24 villages. ठीक है? Giving 24 villages. Okay, and today we have this 24 parganas as North Pargana in Bengal. ठीक है? Okay, उसके बाद war made the British undisputed masters of Bengal, from which they overran the rest of India in the next 100 years.
100 years.
And this laid the foundation for British Empire in India. समझ गए? Okay.
जी सर.
So क्या क्या याद रखना है आपको? We'll just revise it and we'll go to the geography after that. It's almost 10:45 now. So first Battle of Conquest of India, Battle of Plassey happened in 1757. Ali Wardi Khan was the Nawab in 1756 and his grandson succeeded the Siraj-ud-Dawla. Back in 1717, a Farooq Siyar issued a farman to the British East India Company for the preferential trade. Okay? And he gave the dastak, but dastak was abused. Dastak was abused,
Abused.
and the Britishers conspired against the Bengal Nawab and did things which irked the Nawab. After that, the Nawab was outraged. He went to the Qasim Bazaar and seized it, and he almost killed the 145 British soldiers, out of which
Soldier.
123 of them died. And Sir Howell was one of the 3% who survived narrowly. And this tragedy is known as Black Hole tragedy. And after that, the British was enraged and they
It is
sent two people, Robert Clive and Admiral Watson, to the Bengal. And this Robert Clive defeated the Nawab handsomely. And after that, which treaty was signed? Treaty of Alinagar. And these were the points. And this treaty led to the Battle of Plassey. In the Battle of Plassey, Robert Clive versus Nawab of Bengal. Okay, that is Sirajuddaulah. And the British, the British joined hands with the chief commander-in-chief, with the Mir Jafar, who was the right hand of Bengal Nawab. And after that, the Mir Jafar was made the Nawab.
Nawab.
And on which date this Battle of Plassey happened?
23rd June 1757.
23rd June 1757. On which date this Treaty of Alinagar was signed?
February
Feb 9th.
9, 1757.
February 9, 1757. So the dates might not be asked, but you have to remember. They might ask, arrange the following in a chronological order. So Battle of Alinagar पहले हुआ, फिर उसके बाद में Battle of Plassey हुआ.
Plassey.
ठीक है? On 23rd June 1757. And result was Sirajuddaulah was captured and killed. Mir Jafar became the new Nawab and he gifted 24 Farganas. And this made the British undisputed masters, and this laid the foundation for British Empire in India. So they conquered the Bengal in 1757 and left India in 1947. So how many years?
181.
कितने साल?
180 years.
1757 to 1857.
100 years.
कितना हो गया?
100 years.
100 years. 1757 to 1940. 1857 to 1947. How many years?
90 years. 190
कितना होगा
years.
total?
190 years.
190 years. So they ruled India almost
200 years. 180 years.
200 years. Okay. So this was Parganas. Parganas means there was unit of village there, unit of area. Okay. Parganas. It was unit. जैसा एकड़ बोलते इधर village बोलते. That was that point of time. Parganas. Just wait a second. I'll give you the exact meaning. Parganas meaning. वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट है ना? क्या है आज? क्या है तेलंगाना में? कितने डिस्ट्रिक्ट है आज? मंडल बोल रहे?
Yes, sir.
जैसा आज क्या पहले क्या है?
Mandal.
पहले क्या रहता? स्टेट. ठीक है. स्टेट में क्या रहता? क्या बोलते? सिटीज. सॉरी, स्टेट में क्या आता? डिस्ट्रिक्ट. ग्रुप ऑफ डिस्ट्रिक्ट किसे मिलते हैं? ग्रुप ऑफ विलेजेस. सो विलेज, परगनास माने 24 villages. You can understand in this way. Subdivision of a district. Today we call it as village, गांव. वो टाइम पे क्या बोलते थे? परगना. ठीक है? Understood?
Yes, sir.
So Battle of Buxar we'll see tomorrow. ठीक है? Tomorrow's class. Understood today's class? Battle of Plassey.
Yes, sir.
So just take a break of 5 minutes. Exactly at 10:55, between 10:55 and 11 we'll start geography.